Welcome to the Good Karma Sportfishing Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So, I have been working with adrenaline rods for the past 3 to 4 years, trying to come up with an all-purpose rod that kicks ass on yellowtail snapper, blackfin tuna, and pitching to mahi-mahi. And like catching sharks, something really ultra light, but just badass with a lot of nice backbone, a shorter rod. So Brandon came to me and says, Ryan, I finally found the blank and you are going to like it. So I was kind of like, we've talked about this before and we've tried things and I just haven't been happy. Well, Brandon surprised me. And he always seems to, like, one thing about Brandon, the owner of Adrenaline Rods, is that he loves a challenge, and he found it, and it is badass. So this yellowtail. He's selling it as a Yellowtail series rod, but it can be used for everything. And we are beating up sharks with this thing. We're catching big flag yellowtails, and it is ultra light. I am super stoked about this rod because it is a hell of a lot of fun, and man, does it has some serious power. I like the height. So this is the description of the rod. Like I said, it's new to the market from Adrenaline Rods, and it's 6'10", 10 to 25 pound composite rod. Guys, it's going to exceed your expectations. Now, do not be fooled by how lightweight these rods are, because they're able to manhandle big fish. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? We were kicking ass on the Patrice the other day with this rod. Big sharks, big mutton snappers, and then we went to the reef and we tore up flag yellowtails. It's just badass. I can't believe how lightweight it is. So the rod's built to handle the conditions. That's very important. When you're going and looking for a rod that's going to last you a lifetime, that's what you should be looking for, okay? So now I wanted a rod that could like handle getting the shit kicked out of it, okay? So Brandon found it. It took a while, but he found it for me. And that's why I'm sharing it with you guys, because in my eyes, it's the perfect all-purpose rod, okay? So I don't like to carry a lot of rods with me out there. Honestly, I like to have rods that I can switch over to yellowtail fishing. I like to have rods I can switch over to jigging, because I do a lot of changing over. Rather than carry 15 rods with me, I want a rod that can do all sorts of stuff. So in the end, it saves me a bunch of money, and these rods last forever because Brandon puts a guarantee on these rods. So here's a couple other things. Now these are built with Fuji Alkanite guides in the new CC Silver corrosion-resistant frames. They're Fuji graphite reel seats with black lock nut feature. The rod's going to last you a hell of a long time, guys. Now, even though it was designed for yellowtail fishing, this is what I wanted. Like I said, the rod is absolutely perfect for lightweight pitch. It's a perfect lightweight pitch rod for schoolie mahi and busting blackfin tunas. You can throw small jigs of blackfins and all sorts of stuff. Now, like I said, its length is 6'10". The action is moderate fast. The power is light. It's the lure weight is like a 3/8, the 1.5. The guides are Fuji Alkanite KWCC silvers. Total guides are 8. The reel seat is a Fuji size 18 with a black lock nut, and they're made in the USA, okay? The retail price for the rod is $239.99. For the Good Karma Sportfishing Podcast special, yes, I'm going to give you guys a special. And there's going to be more of this stuff coming in the future with the podcast. And I'm not some really good stuff. So the Good Karma Sportfishing Podcast special is $205. Now, this special is only good for the first 10 rods sold, okay? The Good Karma Sportfishing Podcast special will receive one color option with black. Further customization, such as guide upgrades, design wraps, grip decor, to name a few, is also available, but that you're going to have to pay a little bit extra for. Now you're going to have, because these rods are custom built, you have to allow 2 to 3 weeks out. And the prices do not include tax and shipping. Now, local pickup is available. And Brandon is really good at local pickup. So now you can email Brandon at brandon.adrenalinerods@gmail.com. Again, that's brandon.adrenalinerods@gmail.com. Or just send him just contact him via cell phone, and his number is 561-289-4208. Or you can send him a text, he said. Now, just make sure that when you text him, say that, just don't say, hey, Brandon, I want the $205 special. Just tell him that you got to make sure that you tell him that you found out through the Good Karma Sportfishing podcast. Now, this is going to be the perfect rod for the summer, and you're going to see I've got some great video that I'm gathering of the rod that I'll post in the Facebook group and on my Instagram, maybe a video short of it through my YouTube channel. I am going to be doing a few video shorts through YouTube just for the podcasts that we're launching. So, for example, if I am doing a podcast on grouper fishing, you're going to see the grouper that we caught using the stuff I'm going to talk about in the podcast. So, just FYI. But I still have no plans to do any serious YouTubing. So I got enough going on in my life right now. So, guys, check out that rod. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to help you. Post the questions in the Good Karma Sportfishing podcast Facebook group, and any other questions that you may have about the podcast as well. So that's a good place to communicate with me. Okay, guys, so on with the nugget. Patch reef fishing. So we just came off the February full moon, and there's a few YouTube videos flying around. So I'm going to tell you guys exactly why it was so good. Okay? That's what these YouTubers are missing out on, okay? They're just, they're showing you the fish and stuff and how great it can be, but you have to learn to understand why it's good, and here it is why. Why was the February full new moon so good? Number one, we had a lot of northeast wind, really heavy southeast wind, and the current was flying outside the reef, flying. We had exceptional tides. The February new moon, now put this in the back pocket, 3 to 4 days ahead of the new moon and a couple days after, brings great mutton snapper fishing in on the patch reefs. It does every year, okay? Every year. There was lots of ballyhoo that moved in on the patch reefs. Everybody, in my last podcast I talked about the lack of ballyhoo. Well, I'm talking about the lack of ballyhoo out on the reef itself, not in on the patch reefs. Now, the patch reefs always have a lot of ballyhoo, and we had some really big tides, and there was a lot of ballyhoo in on the patch reefs. There's still a lot of ballyhoo in on the patch reefs, but so what happens is you get a really strong ripping current outside the reef. That pushes those mutton snappers in on the patch reefs on that new moon. It happens every year, okay? Every year. Now, also, too, you got to be strategic about the time of day, okay? Time of day has a lot to do with it on the new moon, and I highly recommend that if you haven't downloaded my app, you do that, and you really pay attention to the solar lunar. You pay attention to when the sun comes up, when the sun goes down. You need to watch and see when the wind slacks out, okay? Now, if the wind's going to slack out in the evening and you got a couple hours to kill, you're probably going to do some damage, okay? You need to get out to the patch reefs. You need to find a good patch. And I'm going to probably be talking a little bit more about this stuff here in the future. I've got some things in mind that you're going to want to follow. And you need to be able to catch some ballyhoo. Like I said, I've talked about this a million times. This is nothing different. It's super easy to do. And a lot of these YouTubers have listened to my podcasts, and I see the stuff that I've created in the YouTube videos now, which is awesome that they're using my content to catch fish. I think that's awesome. So Also, too, guys, know the rules and regulations about what fish you can keep and how to measure fish, too, as well. So recently we had a major influencer down here, charter boat captain, that caught a hogfish, killed it, and a parrotfish and posted it on his Instagram. Yeah, he was busted. So you can do the research as public knowledge. So just be aware if you are a YouTuber and you have followers that you know the rules and regulations as far as what to post and what not to post. So just FYI. So that's what went down, man. So know that the new moon in February can bring some pretty easy patch reef fishing. The big mutton snappers get in there. Where are the best patch reefs to fish? Key Largo. Okay? Key Largo. From north of Harry Harris Park up to the Mosquito Bank, that area. Now, it's a good place to fish when it's windy because the bank blocks off a lot of wind, okay? The White Banks and Dry Rocks area, just great areas, and I'm going to be talking more about this in the future, but that's why they bit. Guys, the fluorocarbon leader you need 40 pound for the consistent bite, 50 to 60, that works really good in the evenings, but the 40 pound leader is going to get you the most bites during the day, and that's what you need. Now, sometimes you can beef it up to 60, but mutton snappers in on the patch reefs, you don't really need any more than 40 pound. Size hooks, you need big hooks for the ballyhoo, okay? You need big hook, big circle hooks. I use big number 10s, owners, for big number 10 owner circle hooks for the ballyhoo. Knocker rig setup is all you need. That's the easiest rig to catch those fish on. It's the standard rig for Florida Keys guides. It has been for several years. So, and try to get a hold of the jumbo shrimp, because what's going to happen is that a lot of the patch reef ballyhoo are local fish. So once people start throwing cast nets on them, they're going to shy off. That's why catching them in the evening is a little easier, because the fish can't see the net, the whites of the net, so they're easier to net. So just a little information for you guys. So to sum it up, look for the new moon in March, might be good. It's hard to say. I will keep you guys posted, but something to think about if you want to go patch reef fishing. Big tides, and that's going to really help get the fish fired up. The evening hours and you got to look at the tidal set. You got to look outgoing tide, into the outgoing. That has a lot to do with it. It's just really about setting it up and watching your solar lunar, paying attention to the sun when the sun goes down and your tide shifts. And it was pretty easy. It was pretty easy if you're able to get out there. So I try to take my clients, but they were like, we don't want to go. We don't want to fish the patch reefs, yada, yada, yada. So because they're small fish, well, they missed out. So, and in the future, when I take bookings, if the client isn't willing to fish the patch reefs and it's doable, then I'm not going to take the booking. So I don't understand what's going on out there in the world with people wanting this and that, and being specific about this. Yeah, I can tell you what it is. It's YouTube. So the clients that catch a lot of big fish with me are people that, number one, respect the environment. Number two, they're super chill and are there to have a really good time. Okay? I have a very long list of regular clients that have great attitudes, enjoy being out there. They don't whine and they don't bitch. And I love those folks to death. So I don't know what's going on. I think it's really messed up. I really do. It seems I had 3 cancellations with guys that are like, we don't want to go fish the patch reefs and we want to go out deep. I was like, call me in June, but don't call me unless it's a nice day. And if you're lucky that you get on the books. So honestly, I'm already booked half of my May's filled with clients that just want to go fishing. So yeah, some days it sucks where you can't get outside the reef and go fishing, but It is what it is. I know people that go outside the reef, they puke their guts out and they don't catch shit. And they ended up paying a $2,000 bill. So that's been happening a lot lately, but nobody's talking about that. So I'll go in on the patch reefs and I'll catch a limit of 10 to 15 mutton snappers that are 15 to 20 pounds. So let them go out there and get the shit kicked out of them for one sailfish and a $1,500, $2,000 bill and a fuel charge. So that's my commentary for today. So something to think about. I really appreciate my clients and the people that really, really enjoy going fishing and know what it's all about. Okay? Those people are realistic. And those are great people. So, and you have my respect. And those are the people I go 1,000 miles for. And I just love it when families have their kids. I just see the smiles. I see how happy they are. I know that they really enjoy just being out there, especially with what's going on in the world today. So they're there. They're there to have fun. They're not there to steal my spots. They're not there to steal the patterns. They're there these people are there to learn. They're there to have fun. They're and they come back. That's why I have regular clients. So I don't take them out beyond the reef and beat the shit out of them and don't catch anything. And then, there, like I said before, there's a $2,000 bill. Oh, we didn't catch a swordfish today. $2,500. Something. Okay, that's all I got. I was a little fired up, so I wanted to get it off my chest. And like I said, I really appreciate those guys that have booked with me, that are flexible. I'm going to give you the absolute best time. The absolute. That is my promise to you. I look forward to seeing the families that have booked with me for spring break that are coming back to see me that got canceled for COVID last year. I appreciate all the awesome emails that I get from people and the people that really care. And those people, some of these people have become family to me, and I just look forward to seeing them. So that's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. You can follow me on Instagram at Good Karma Sportfishing _FL_keys. You can check out my website, figure out what's going on. It's goodkarmasportfishing.com. And if you want to join up with the Facebook group, it's the Good Karma Sportfishing podcast. Now, I am opening up the rigging group for 5 new members. Okay, the cost is $49. You get access to the private Facebook group, which is where I share my rigging videos here and the special things that I'm doing now. So, and stuff I have not talked about in the podcast. And if you want to be considered for the group, you have to email me at goodkarmaryan@gmail.com and we'll have a discussion. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good. Thanks, guys. A little fired up today, but it is what it is.